What up? What up? This is Mr. T at Mr. T Do Numbers on YouTube, and I'm back once again with a lesson on dividing decimals. All right. Two things: you have to understand decimal place values, and you also have to understand what dividing is doing. Right. So I know a lot of times I just give you the skill, right? But I don't really talk about word problems. So just real quick, you will know it's a dividing problem if it gives you a total amount of something and it tells you about groups that it wants you to create. And then the question will ask you about each group. All right? It's the opposite of multiplication. In multiplication, they give you a number of groups, they give you how much is in each group, and they ask you for a total. Division is the opposite. It gives you the total already. Then it tells you something about the groups, and it's asking you for a question about the groups. All right? So I tell people like this, marriage is multiplying. It's coming together of groups. Division is divorce. It's the separation into groups. All right? Dad goes this way, mom goes this way. All right? So division is divorce. It's separation into equal groups. All right? You had $100 in your joint bank account. Y'all get divorced. 50-50. Dad gets 50. Mom gets 50. That's divorce. Divorce is division. All right? So to divide these decimals, let's just say Mr. Trahan went to Walmart and he had $45.80 left in change. All right? And his 4 little cousins come asking him for money. And he decides to give all of them an equal amount of money. How much money does each one get? Well, the total amount of money I had in change was $45.80. And I have to create 4 groups because I have 4 little cousins that I want to give the change to. And not only do I have to create groups, they have to be equal. See, division creates equal groups. It's not just breaking it down into groups, they have to be equal. You wouldn't want to give one little cousin more money than the other. He gave him more money than he gave me. That's not fair. All right, division creates equal groups. All right, so let's talk about this problem. I always say estimate first. Say, Mr. Tran, what do you mean by estimate? To estimate is to use numbers close to the real number, but more comfortable dealing with, right? So in step 1, if I have $45.80 divided by 4, I'm not really comfortable with this number. I'm more comfortable with 4. I can divide by 4, right? I know my 4 times tables, right? So the 4 is actually okay. All right, it's okay to divide by 4. But what I want to do, I want to change this number into a number that's close to it, but easier to divide by 4, so I can get a good estimate. So what I tell my students is, look at the first 2 numbers. All right, first 2 numbers is 45. Now ask yourself, what multiple of 4 can I change this number into that's close to it? All right, well, you know, 4 times 10 is 40. That's getting close. 4 times 11 is 44. That's really close. And 4 times 12 is 48. That's too much. It's actually closer to 44. So since that's 45.80 and that's close to 44, I would change that to about 44 because it's more compatible with the 4. And I know 44 divided by 4, my answer is going to be about 11. All right? So that's the estimating piece. Well, you say, how does that help you? If you get stuck on division, You want to look at your estimated answer so you can be somewhere close to it. All right? So step 1, my estimate is about 11. Right? So step 2, I'm going to actually set up the problem. I'm going to put the total inside and put the divisor outside. So you ever ask yourself, well, how do I know which number is the divisor? How do I know which number go inside the house, which number go outside the house? Whatever you're talking about, the total should be inside. Notice I didn't say the biggest number. I said the total. See, the total money I had was $45.80. Therefore, the total must go inside. It's the dividend. It's what you're dividing into. Now, my divisor is what I'm dividing by. It's the groups. See, I have 4 little cousins that's going to get the change from me. So I need to give each one of them a group of change, right? So I have 4 groups. My divisor is 4. I'm dividing by 4. That goes outside. All right? That's step 2. You're actually setting up the problem. All right? Now, step 3 is dealing with place value. A lot of kids don't know where to put the decimal point. So in this example, because we're only in 5th grade level, one thing you can do is, I have hundreds divided by ones. Well, hundreds divided by ones will give me hundreds. So I know my answer will have hundreds. So one thing I can tell the kids to do is go ahead and draw a line up or arrow up and go ahead and put the decimal point already in the answer. Because again, I have hundreds divided by ones. Well, hundreds divided by ones is hundreds. All right? Now, you can't get away with this all the time. In middle school, you'll have decimals divided by decimals, things like that. So that's not really going to work. But this is simpler. This is a simple problem. All right? So you can go ahead and draw that up. You can go ahead and put the decimal point in your answer. It won't be any confusion after you finish dividing. You already know where the decimal point goes. All right? Number 4, you're going to divide the normal way. All right? Now, I need some room, so I'm going to go ahead and put number 4 right here, and then I'll work on the side as well. All right? My divisor is 4. My dividend is 45 and 80 hundredths. I already know that my answer is going to have hundreds. Now you're just dividing the normal way. All right? Now, one thing about Mr. Tram, I like to use cheat codes. And one of my cheat codes that I tell the kids is, let's take the division out of dividing. All right? So they say, how do you do that, Mr. T? If you're dividing by 4, what I have them do is go over on the side of their paper and make groups of 4. All right? Now, some teachers can use a T-table, and they'll put 4 up here, and then they'll say 1 group is 4, 2 groups is 8, 3 groups is 12, right? They can make a T-table. But what I like to do, I like to make it real easy for the kids. I say just keep adding groups of 4. This is 1 group of 4 plus 4, that's 8, which is 2 groups, plus 4 is 12, which is 3 groups, plus 4 is 16, which is 4 groups, plus 4 is 20, which is 5 groups. All right, 20 plus 4 is 24, which is 6 groups, plus 4 is 28, which is 7 groups, plus 4 is 32, which is 8 groups, plus 4 is 36, which is 9 groups. And I know you're probably wondering, why does he add that number up 9 times? Because we are in standard division. And standard division is dividing by place value spot. So that means you're going to go each spot and do division. And if you know anything about place value, the biggest number that can go in any place value spot is 9. So I took 4 groups. I took 4 and then I made groups of it. And I did 9 of them. Because the biggest number that can go up here is 9. What that does is take the hard work out of the division. So from here, we'll just divide the normal way. If you know standard division, you know that the cycle is divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. All right? Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. So I divide 4 divided into 4. Or I say, how many groups of 4 can I get out of the number 4? And you say 1. Right? That's division. Then I multiply it back out. 1 times 4 is 4. That's multiplication. Then I subtract. 4 minus 4 is 0. Then I bring down the next number, which is the 5. That's one cycle. I have to do the cycle of standard division until I have an answer above every number. So you know how many times you got to do it. Just look inside the dividend. I have 4 numbers in the dividend, so I have to do it 4 times. All right? 4 goes into 5, 1, which means I can get 1 group of 4 out of that. 1, oh, that's division. 1 times 4 is 4. Subtract. 5 minus 4 is 1. Bring down the 8. Start the cycle again. 4 goes into 18. Now you say, oh, I don't know. Well, 1 group of 4 is 4. 2 groups of 4 is 8. 3 groups of 4 is 12. 4 groups of 4 is 16, so that's close. And 5 groups is 20. Well, 5 groups is too much. So I got to use 4 groups, which is 16. Well, 4 goes up here. That's division. And 4 times 4 is 16. That's multiplication. Then subtract. 18 minus 6 is 2. That's subtraction. And bring down the last number and make it 20. Now you have to do the last cycle. 4 goes into 20. Well, 1 group of 4 is 4. 2 groups is 8. 3 groups is 12. 4 groups is 16. 5 groups is 20. So 5 goes here. That's division. 5 times 4 is 20. That's multiplication. 20 minus 20 is 0. That's subtraction. And I have no numbers to bring down. So my remainder is 0. So what you get is your answer is 11 and 45 hundredths. Again, you know it's hundredths because of step 3, where the decimal point is. All right? Again, this is Mr. T at Mr. T Do Numbers. This is dividing decimals. It's basically standard division, but you have to include where the decimal point goes. So the division cycle stays the same of standard division. All right? Peace.